everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video I want to start a new series for my channel, and that is a chopping block series. I have seen numerous other channels do this as of late, that being Baute, Samantha March, I think Andrea Matillano has done it as well, and also Ashely Klaty, and I do quite like the idea of this. Kind of a way to force me to make a decision about items I'm so on the fence about and decide whether to declutter them or not. I have been intending to do a declutter for a while now, but the items that I am starting to put to one side, I don't think it's enough to do it by category as I've done in the past. I think I just need to do one declutter, which I will then just sit down and show you the numerous different items that I am getting rid of. They do kind of go over a broad spectrum. I think it's not just makeup, there's some skincare as well that I do want to get rid of. These are the items that I just can't decide what to do with, so that's why I'm doing this video. It has worked out quite nicely that there's 10 of them, and I think that's what I probably want to do going forward. Every so often I just want to grab 10 items that I'm just on the fence about and make a decision one way or another whether to declutter them or not. So I think the way I'm going to do it is that they have a month to kind of prove themselves, and then if I'm not using them, or I am using them but not enjoying it, I am definitely going to declutter them. And I want to kind of do this on a regular basis. I don't mean like every month, but I just mean every few months I want to kind of do this just to refresh my makeup collection and stuff isn't getting thrown to the back of the drawer and not being used. That is why I did the everyday makeup drawer, to constantly be rotating the makeup that I'm using on a daily basis. A few of these have been recently in my everyday makeup drawer, but I still haven't quite made my decision after using them for that month. I'm actually filming this video a few days before I'm doing my roundup of my August everyday makeup drawer, so there may be some repeats in things that I am talking about, so apologies for that. So let's get into the 10 items that I have on the chopping block. Starting with a foundation, this is the Revolution Conceal and Define foundation. I am the shade F4 in this, and I think it is a pretty spot on shade match. That is one of my main issues why I don't want to get rid of it, because I think it is such a good shade match. Out of all the foundations I've tried as of late, this is probably one of the best shade matches to me, I hope. But it's just formula wise, I just can't get it to perform the way I want to. I do believe I have combination skin, so it does perform different in different areas of my skin, and even trying different primers underneath in different sections, I just can't seem to get it to work. I have even on a couple of occasions worn this on one part of my face and another foundation on another, but because of the shade matches it still looked a bit odd. This seems to apply really nice from kind of here down, but on my forehead I just think it looks terrible. I do have some, I'm still going to call them fine lines on my forehead, and this is terrible for sinking into them. Quite a lot of foundations do sink into them, but I can usually rectify it with setting powder or setting spray and it not look as bad. But this just really emphasises them, and for my confidence, I just don't like it. To be honest, I feel more confident in bare skin than I do with foundation anyway, so this definitely doesn't help with my confidence levels. So yeah, this one is quite hard to do, but I think it needs to go in here to force me to make my final decision. Then we have a setting powder, and this is the L'Oreal True Match setting powder. I don't think this has a shade, I think it is just the translucent one, there's no shade name on it, and I keep hitting hard pan on it. If I scrape it off, it's good for a couple of uses, but then I just seem to hit hard pan on it again, and nothing's really coming off. So it's a quite frustrating product to use, but when it's not got hard pan, it does look really nice on the skin. This does come with one of these things which I never use. I've obviously tried it a few times. I do tend to go with this with a sponge, not even a damp sponge, which I know would cause the hard pan, just a dry sponge to try and apply it to my face, and it does apply nice, but then I say just hard pan seems to happen, and I don't know if it's because it's picking the foundation off my face with the sponge when I'm applying it and then putting it back onto it. I just really don't know. If I go at it with a brush, I just can't get any product off, and I say I'm constantly having to kind of scrape the hard pan off and go at it again. So this one is in here because it's frustrating me. It's a nice product, I just can't seem to work with it, so I'm going to try it again for another month, and if it annoys me too much, I'm just going to get rid of it. Then we have a couple of blushes. The first one is from e.l.f. This is the Always Cheeky Primer Infused Blush. This is one that was in the August Everyday Makeup drawer, and I did really enjoy pulling into it for this month. I didn't seem to quite get the level of pigment that I required. I don't know if it's because it's such a large pan and I've been so used to using the small Tarte pans that I seem to end up with it more over my face than I intended to. I do use a large blush brush, so that could be the issue. I might need to go at it with a different size brush. I can't seem to get it quite right. I don't think it's the product's fault, I think it is just more user error, but it's another one that I haven't quite got the patience to kind of work with it. When I'm applying my makeup of a morning, I do just sort of go at it and throw it on my face basically. So that's why the Tarte ones are good, because it seems to match the size that I want it on my cheek, and obviously it only takes up that much amount of product on the brush. So this one I'm leaning more towards keeping, but if it's going to annoy me to use, I don't know. The other blush we have is this one from 17, and this is in the shade China Pink. The issue I do have with this is the shade. I just don't think it quite suits me. It looks okay if I apply it on bare skin, but if I do apply it on top of foundation, it just seems to go kind of lilac-y purple toned. It is a sort of mauvey pink in my opinion anyway, so it does kind of pull more mauvey, especially when putting it on foundation. When I do apply it to bare skin, it's not the most pigmented. It does require quite a lot of building, and again, it's a bit more hard work than the blushes I'm used to using. I've definitely got enough blushes in my collection that I can afford to kind of get rid of a few that I'm not 100% using or 100% enjoying, so that's why this one is here. We then have a highlighter, and this is the Revolution Vivid Baked Highlighter. There's nothing wrong with this product at all, I just don't seem to pull for it. This is a very blinding highlighter. As you can see, it's very pigmented. I just find that I've replaced this with the Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighters. I just much prefer the formula of them. They're slightly more buttery and it does just adhere to my skin that bit better, and I find I can blend that in a bit easier. That kind of melts the skin, whereas this, it does end up being a bit like a stripe of where I left it. And there also is quite a bit of glitter fallout from this throughout the course of the day. You come home and kind of find I have bits of highlighter lower down my cheeks. So it's a really nice product. I really do like the shades of it. I don't think any of the other highlighters I've got on this exact shade, which is why I had been keeping hold of it, but I just can't remember the last time I actually reached for it. We then have a brow product. This is the e.l.f. brow pencil. I do actually have this in 2 shades, but I'm counting them as one product. I have the shade Taupe and Neutral Brown. I really wanted to like this product because it is so affordable. I think this is only about £3, and I use the Benefit Goof Proof Brow Pencil every single day, but that is coming in at over £20 a go. Even though it does last me a long time, it is still quite an expensive product. So I was on the lookout a while ago for a drugstore alternative. I did try numerous ones. These are the only ones that I'd kind of kept around. I haven't used them for a long time because I have just been using the Goof Proof because I know and love that one, but I feel like I just need to give these one last shot to see whether I do want to keep them or not. I think the reason that I have kept both of them in my collection was to do with the shade. I say one is taupe and one is medium brown. If I remember rightly, the medium brown was too dark, and I can't remember what was wrong with the taupe shade. I think I like the formula, but I just can't remember because I haven't pulled for them in that long. So I thought I'd give them one more shot, and then if I end up still pulling for my Goof Proof more than them, I'll take it as a sign to get rid of one, if not both of them. Then we have an eyeliner, and this is from the brand Essence. This is the Superfine Waterproof Eyeliner Pen. My issue with this is that the nib is so long that I don't feel like I have much control over it, because when I'm pressing it onto my eyelid, if you press at the wrong angle, the tip does kind of bend a bit and then it ends up going above the line in which you're applying, so it is quite finicky to use. It also does have a bit of an issue going over metallic or shimmery eyeshadow. I do have to layer it up for it to show through because it's not overly pigmented. It is the eyeliner that I've put on now, and I'm not 100% happy with this eyeliner look at all. It's just quite hard to work with. This was another one where I went out looking for a more affordable option of one of my favourites. My favourite go-to eyeliner is the Tarte Man-Eater eyeliner. This is another one that's about £20 a go. This was only a few pounds, so I definitely was on the lookout. But again, I tried a handful of them. Quite a lot of them got decluttered because I didn't like them at all. This one stuck around because it was okay. I just don't know if it's okay enough to keep. If I know I don't overly reach for it, I'd kind of forgot I had it, to be honest, so I don't know if it's just time to say goodbye to it. So that's why it's in here. We then have an eyeshadow palette. This is the Wet n Wild Comfort Zone palette. This is the old formula of these, and the reason why this is in here is because I don't think I need it in my collection. I think every shade in here I have in some other palette in some other way, and even though I do quite like this formula, it's definitely not the best out there. The shades themselves are really nice and really nicely pigmented. They blend really nicely, they just don't last an awful lot of time, and I noticed with the shimmer shades that they don't have a lot of kind of initial fallout, but throughout the course of the day I do find myself with bits of fallout on my cheek, which isn't ideal. So that's why I'm going to put this one in here. I think the main reason I've kept it is mainly because of these two shades here. These shades I've definitely got in other palettes. This green one I don't think I have. So not that I've ever done it, but I might be quite tempted to kind of destroy the palette just to get that one out, because I think that one is quite unique to my collection. And then this definer shade at the bottom here is a duochrome, such a gorgeous shade, but I don't overly reach for shades this dark anyway, so that's why it is mainly these two shades that I've always saved it from past declutters. And then I'm kind of like on the fence of, do I just go and buy the new formula because that's got more transition shades, and I think at the moment it's on sale for like £3 something on Beauty Bay. So I'm really torn with this one. Do I just depot that and get rid of the palette? Do I just get rid of the palette altogether and probably find that somewhere in my collection? I just don't know what to do about this one, so that's why this is in here. Finally, we have two lip products. The first one is this Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink. This one is in the shade Poet. This has absolutely nothing to do with the formula, because this is one of my favourite all-time liquid lipstick formulas, drugstore or high-end. I do really rate this formula. It is definitely a kind of Marmite formula. I've heard so many people that don't like it and so many people love it. It's probably the longest lasting formula that I've tried. This does not budge. Obviously the downside of that is it is a bit of a nightmare to get off, but this is just such a great formula. It's just the shade. It does look darker than it actually is, if you can see from the doe foot. Love the applicator, and that it's got a hole through the middle of it, because you seem to always deposit the perfect amount of product on your lips. But this shade is just too light for me. I tried it over the summer months thinking that it would look okay then, but I found I always needed to put something slightly darker with it and kind of use this just in the middle of my lips, because otherwise I kind of looked half dead. So the shade wasn't for me at all. But the only thing making me want to keep it is the formula, because I love the formula so much. I don't want to get rid of it in that respect, but it's stupid because I just don't enjoy this shade. So this is one that is more likely to be decluttered than not, but I just feel like it deserves this last chance because I love the formula so much. A really stupid reason, I know. And then the final product is this liquid lipstick from Larizzi. This is one that was in my August everyday makeup drawer, and even though I've been using it for a month, I still can't quite decide what to do with it. It is the lipstick that I have on now. It's a really nice warm pink shade. This one is kind of the opposite of the last one in that it's the formula that lets this one down. It doesn't have the best taste or smell to it. It's not as bad as that Bella Pierre one that I tried not that long ago, but it's still not the best. It is the kind of plasticky crayon type taste and smell to it. So that's one of its bad points. And then it is quite a long lasting formula. It just doesn't really fade gracefully. You do end up looking like you've just gone out in dark pink lip liner. Don't get me wrong, that is more towards the end of the day, but I'm not always constantly checking my lipstick, and it can be towards the end of the day and I'll go and see it in the bathroom mirror and realise that it looks quite scary. So this one I'm just not too sure about. It's definitely not the worst liquid lipstick formula that I've tried. It is pretty comfortable to wear. Like, similar to the Superstay, it does stay that slight bit tacky for quite a while, even when it's drying down, and it isn't uncomfortable to wear at all even once it's fully dried down. So it has definitely got its pros, but I just can't get past the smell and the way it looks towards the end of the day. So it's got one last chance, and then we'll just see what happens with it. So that is all 10 items that are on the chopping block. They have one more month to prove themselves, and then if they can't, they will be ending up in my declutter pile. So I will be doing a declutter video in the next month. But that is it for today's video. If you did like it, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. Thanks.